the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can have a seat.
Thank you.
Can you state your name and spell it, please?
Taina Cruz, Taina, last name is Cruz as in zebra.
And how are you employed?
I am a sergeant with the Criminal Investigations Division at the City of Canton Police Department.
And what does that mean?
So I investigate crimes that happen within our jurisdiction.
And can you tell the jury a little bit about your background and education in terms of what led up to your role as an investigator?
Sure. I was mandated in September of 2017.
What does that mean?
Mandated is when you become a law enforcement officer. And I spent 2 years on the road as a patrol officer. Directly after that, I applied to the Criminal Investigations Division as a detective. And in August of 2019 is when I became a detective. And this is in December of 2020 is when I actually got this case.
Okay. And can you tell the jury a little bit about the Canton Police Department? How many investigators do you have?
Sure. Currently we have 5 investigators and 2 supervisors, and then we have a lieutenant over the division.
Okay. And where do you fall in that?
So I am one of the supervisors.
And with regard to how the division of cases works, do the investigators at the Canton Police Department specialize, or do you all handle investigations of all types?
So we do handle investigations of all types. Generally, you'll know the strengths and weaknesses of each detective. In this particular incident, I am specialized in crimes against persons.
Okay. And back in December of 2020, what was your position?
I was a detective.
All right. And when did you become aware of sort of the incident that led us to here today? Tell me about December the 8th of 2020 and how you became involved.
Sure. I was actually at Starbucks getting my second win of a cup of coffee, and I got a phone call from my lieutenant. He said, "Did you hear what happened over the radio?" I said, "Yes, I heard what happened over the radio." He said, "I need you here now." He told me the address, 215 Mountain View Vista, and I went straight away, blue lights all the way to the scene. At that point, I saw EMT had already been there, a couple of officers had already been there, and my supervisory staff is already there. And they told me, "Your lead, this is your case." I said, "Okay."
And who was your supervisory staff that was there?
Lieutenant Ray.
Okay. And when you what time did you get the call or arrive on scene, do you know?
It would have been around 13:41.
Okay, and what time is that in?
1:41, I'm sorry.
Okay. And when you arrived on scene, who was there?
Like I said, we had 2 officers there, well, actually 3, Officer Pruitt, Officer Yurkovsky, and Officer Soto. We had my Lieutenant Ray there. We had another detective there, Detective Priest. And then I arrived, and then we had several EMT officers there.
When you arrived on scene, were the injured parties still present?
One of the injured parties was still present. The baby had been taken away.
Okay. And who was the other individual that was injured?
Chloe Driver.
All right. And who else was on scene? You indicated that your supervisory staff said your lead. What does that mean to be lead, and what did you do in terms of sort of navigating or calling the shots at that point?
Sure. So when you do become lead over the crime scene, you're basically calling the shots. You're telling people what they need to do, how they need to do it. You're interviewing most people on the scene and taking them to specific places so you can interview them in a quiet setting. You're taking photographs if you can. If not, you're telling crime scene what to get, what to collect, what to look for, things of that nature.
Okay. How many people were on scene in terms of first responders, law enforcement, EMT, fire rescue, when you were there?
Probably over 10 of us.
Okay. And so tell me what steps you took when you got on scene. You indicated that Hannah had already been taken from the scene. At that point when you arrived, did you know whether she was deceased or not?
I did not.
Okay. And what was sort of the way that you navigated from the time you arrived on scene this investigation?
I told everybody to separate all the parties. I did not know who was involved or what had happened. I also told crime scene take the photos of the scene, collect whatever evidence they could collect, including a murder weapon if there was one. I let them know that if there are parties still there that were on scene that saw it, I'd like them to go back to the station so that way I can interview them appropriately. And then also just to make notation of what the scene looks like, again, sketch it out, whatever they needed to do.
Okay. You used the terminology crime scene. Who were you referring to with regard to who crime scene is in this particular case?
So we do have our detective taking pictures, Detective Priest, so he was part of the crime scene, but we also have Cherokee Sheriff's Office crime scene come in, and their techs take pictures, collect evidence, and things of that nature. I think Officer Shaw was one of our crime scene techs there.
All right, and what dictates whether you call in the Sheriff's Office to assist with crime scene?
If the scene becomes too big in order for our small department to handle it.
And was that a decision that you made?
Yeah.
And at that time, were there any search warrants obtained or additional steps taken in the investigative process to facilitate that?
So yes, we do have to take a search warrant for the house in order to gather information and evidence out of the house in order to collect photos and things of that nature. So yes, there was a search warrant taken for the house.
Okay. How was the scene secured in terms of who was allowed to go where or?
So it was roped off, like we always do with crime scene tape, and there was officers standing at the scene until that search warrant came.
Okay. Any idea how long law enforcement was at that house after the initial call?
Long time, maybe up into the wee hours of the night.
Okay. You indicated when you got on scene that you instructed other personnel to separate the parties.
Mm-hmm.
Was that done?
Yes.
All right. And you mentioned sort of on-scene interviews and then taking people down to the station. What can you tell me about sort of how you navigated, who you talked to on scene, and where that happened?
So because it was so chaotic and we had certain people interviewing certain people, I went to the person who wasn't being interviewed first, spoke to that person, got general information, and then asked that they take that person back to the station. Then I tried for the next one, asked that they take that person back to the station. So they were taken pretty much separately in different cars, so that way I can interview them separately.
Okay. And who were the people that you made contact with on scene that were not law enforcement or responders to this, the people that were at the residence when it occurred?
Everybody that was on scene. Jerry, Jason, Benjamin, Sarah, Jessica.
Okay. And did you make contact and speak to those people, or other officers make contact and speak to those individuals separately while on scene?
They did.
Okay. And were they able to provide information about what they had witnessed or observed that day?
Absolutely. My officers came and told me specifically who they talked to. They had their information for me, even photo IDs that we can photocopy and things of that nature.
Okay. And then you mentioned that there were multiple people involved in transporting them to the police station. Where is Canton Police Department in relation to where this residence was?
Less than 10 minutes away.
All right. And what was the reason for transporting each of them in a separate vehicle?
I didn't want them talking or giving statements that can conflict or convolute what they saw, but also I wanted to have independent witnesses of each other.
Okay.
So that way I can get the true facts of the story.
Okay. Is that pretty routine in sort of investigating a crime like this, to try to separate people as quickly as possible?
Absolutely.
And who all went to Canton Police Department on that day to be interviewed by you?
Jerry.
The homeowner?
The homeowner, Jerry.
Okay.
Jason Spillers, Jessica, Sarah, and Benjamin.
Okay. So the two other wives, Benjamin, Jason Spillers, and Jerry?
Yes.
Okay. So the 5 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you interview each of them separately?
I did.
Right. And were they willing to speak to you about the circumstances surrounding Hannah's death?
They were.
Okay. How long were you there that evening interviewing all these parties?
Late.
Okay.
The next morning.
Did you collect anything, any evidence from any of those parties?
I did.
What did you collect?
I collected 2 cell phones,
Okay, whose cell phones did you collect?
Benjamin's and Sarah's.
All right. And after you concluded those interviews, did you give them any instructions? Did they just leave? How did you leave things with the group?
So I did tell them that I was going to download their cell phones to still be in the general area if they wanted their cell phones back. I also told them that they could go back to the house, but they couldn't go in the crime scene in case we were still there collecting things, and not to take anything away from the crime scene.
Okay. Do you mean the room itself?
The house.
The house.
Mhm.
Okay. And were at that time when they left the police department, were officers still on scene processing?
They were.
Okay. And did you have any idea at that point how long they were going to stay in Cherokee County?
I did not know.
Do you have any idea how long they did stay in Cherokee County?
I did not know.
Okay. Did you have any physical contact with any of these people after December the 8th of 2020?
Yes.
And when was that?
The very next day, I talked to Benjamin. I actually went to the hospital to speak to Chloe, and I put him on the phone, so I knew he was in the general area still. And then I spoke to Sarah again, and I believe I spoke to Benjamin again.
Okay. And you indicated you told them to stay in the general vicinity so you could download their cell phones, and was that with the intention to return their cell phones to them once you downloaded them?
Correct.
And when did that happen?
Immediately. I went and took their cell phones right away, and I think they got them back probably within a day or 2.
Okay. And when you say you took their cell phones, what did that look like?
So when you take their cell phones, actually you get a search warrant for them, and we have the Cherokee Sheriff's Office that has their own investigations group that does all of their downloading. They use Cellbrite to download.
All right. At what point did you, on that day, learn that Hannah had died?
Pretty much right away. When I was on scene, they told me maybe 30 minutes into it that she had passed away.
Did you make any death notifications on scene? Did you tell anyone?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I know Benjamin was informed, yes.
Okay. And at the time that you interviewed them, were all the parties aware that Hannah was deceased?
Yes.
Were there any other investigative steps you took that night other than interviewing all the parties, having the crime scene processed, collecting the cell phones?
I did get a search warrant to take photos and some blood for Chloe Driver, so I can get it the very next day.
Okay. And what was the purpose of, you said so you could get some blood?
It's a sample. We didn't know who the parents were because they were all married, so we didn't really know who's mom and who's dad. So we did take blood, or a sample, not a blood, but a sample of saliva from Benjamin, and then a sample from Chloe Driver.
Was that the purpose for proving parentage of Hannah?
That is correct.
Okay. And did you obtain a search warrant to get any evidence from Chloe Driver's body?
Yes.
And what was that for?
I wanted to get swabs off of her hands to see if she had DNA from Hannah on her hands.
All right. And where was Chloe Driver taken after she left 215 Mountain Vista?
Taken straight to Kennestone Hospital.
All right. And in terms of the law enforcement response to the hospital, once she was taken to the hospital, was there an officer at the hospital with her?
Yes. We had an officer sit on her 24/7.
Okay. And you mentioned that you got a search warrant. When did you first go to Kennestone Hospital to make contact with Miss Driver?
12/9, which would have been the very next day.
The next day. Okay. And when you went to make contact with her at Kennestone Hospital, you indicated that you had a search warrant. What was sort of your intention in making contact with her on the 9th?
So my intention was just to get photos of her, to get her saliva, and also to get DNA off of her hands.
All right. And when you interacted with her on that date, was it recorded?
Yes, it was.
All right. And Your Honor, I was speaking with the defense based on our earlier discussions about the videos of Ms. Driver's interviews and the written annotations that have been added to them. I believe the parties are in agreement to stipulate to the admissibility of States Exhibit 100, 101, and 102.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, you're admitted.
All right. When you went and made contact with Ms. Driver, was she capable of speaking verbally?
She was whispering, but
Okay.
not necessarily loudly speaking like I am today.
Okay, and why?
She had a slash in her throat.
Okay. Did she have a trach?
Yes,
Okay. And was she capable of giving written responses?
absolutely.
And did she give written responses?
She's the one who told me she wanted to write stuff down.
Okay. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Let me hand you States Exhibit 103 and 104. Do you recognize these?
Yes, this is my handwriting on the top and her handwriting on her social security number, date of birth, and address, as well as her name. And then this is her statements.
Okay. And do these truly and accurately reflect in States 104, the Miranda form you exercised on that day, and States 103, her handwritten responses to your questions?
That's correct.
Your Honor, I would tender States 103 and 104.
No objection.
You're admitted.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to publish States Exhibit 100.
All right.
And on what day did you indicate this was?
12/9.
12/9, okay.
Hey Chloe, my name is Detective Cruz, and I'm here because I have a search warrant, okay? But I'm here to collect kind of DNA sample of your inner cheek, a DNA sample of kind of your hands, and then take some pictures, and that's pretty much it. Okay? I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, and then see if you're okay to even answer anything. Because if you can't talk, I don't want to ask any questions, okay? So, do you know how many quarters are in a dollar? Good. Do you know where you are located today? Good. Do you know what day is today? Very good. And so I'm just here because I want to make sure that A, you're okay, and that B, I get stuff from your body to make sure that nobody is hurting you, okay? You have experienced some trauma, and so we want to make sure that you are taken care of, all right? And I'm going to leave this paperwork for you and my business card. And my business card will have my cell on it. If you need anything, that cell is on 1247. Okay? You got that? Perfect. I'm going to leave this paperwork right here. You don't have to talk. You don't have to talk at all, okay? But we're not going to talk today, okay? And I'm going to visit you again tomorrow, okay? And I'm going to visit you the next day if you want me to. But I want to make sure that you're okay, okay? So let me put this here for you. And I'm going to leave you my business card. Okay? And then I'm going to take this out of here because we don't need this anymore, okay? Okay. Are you cold and your feet cold? A little bit? Okay. My camera is ready. Would you believe this for me on this hand if you can? Perfect. And stay like just like that, because I'm going to come on this side, okay? Thank you. What about this hand? That's perfect. You can put that one down, okay? Again. So I wanted to tell you, I did talk to Mom for you and Dad. And they asked about you, and they want to see you. That's okay. If you want to see them, you can. If you don't want to see them, you don't have to. But they can't come into the hospital because this is a trauma unit. And so when they move you to a new unit, they may be able to visit, okay? So we will ask at that point if they can visit you, all right? Is that okay? But you don't have to see them if you don't want to, okay? Can I take pictures here? Okay? Go on this side, okay? You're all closed up. How's your legs? Are they swollen? Are they okay? Can I take a look? Oh, you got compressions on. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna leave those on. Those are very good for you. You want a nurse? Want me to get a nurse? You sure? Can we talk tomorrow? I want to talk to you tomorrow, though, okay? Because I feel like I want to give you everything, okay? And I haven't visited yet, so I can't tell you for sure, okay? So I want to make sure that you're okay first. She's at a different hospital, because this is not a baby hospital. Okay? Breathe, please, and feel. I want you to breathe, okay? I do not want to put up your blood pressure. It looks like it's going to go up. So, I'm going to have the nurse check, just to be on the safe side, okay? Hold on. I have a nurse. I just want to make sure that her blood pressure is not going up too high. Can you check that just for me? I just want to make sure that her blood pressure is okay and I'm not elevating it in any way.
I don't know what it has been, but she's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was concerned
Yes.
because I'm like, I see it a little bit spiking and I'm like, I do not want to cause any spike in anything.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know anything about medical
It's
stuff.
okay, that's what we're here for.
Okay. I get scared too, just so you know. Okay.
We get scared with their stuff too.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I just want to make sure you're okay. That's it. And when I look at that and then it starts going up, I'm like, uh-oh. So, because you can't speak to me currently, is why I don't want to talk, okay? I want you to be able to say it. Well, you can write stuff down? You want to write stuff down? Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Let me get are you whining? You want to write. I don't understand. So, let me get something for you to write. I don't want you to talk, okay? Let me get something for you to write with. I have her write stuff. She wants to talk. Yes. How about that? That's a juvenile. Juvenile. These are all juveniles. This, yeah, I have them in different languages, just so you know, yes. Okay. Yep. And all types of stuff. But, not to do now. Alright. At least I got one. All that matters. Okay. And I think she has a book. A book. I think I take a look at it. I'm gonna see if she can write on that. Alright. I found something for you to write with, okay? Okay. Before you say anything to me, I want you to read your rights, okay? And I have to do this because our policy, state of Georgia, you have rights, all right? And everybody has rights. And I do not want you to not listen and hear them and then read them for yourself, okay? Here's your first right. You have the right to remain silent, okay? You don't have to speak to me, okay? Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law, all right? You have the right to talk to a lawyer or have them present during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed for you and any questioning if you wish, okay? You can decide at any time during this interview that you can exercise your rights and you can quit being answered with any questions, or you can quit me asking any questions or making any statements. You could just stop at any point and say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Is that okay? Fair enough? Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to write everything for you today's date, which is 12/9. We are at Kennestone Hospital. Okay, the time is 16:59. And I'm going to put mine in. Okay? And Kim, I'm going to have you witness her signing this, okay? I'm going to sign here. Okay. You're going to put your name here, how old you are, your date of birth, your address where you live. If you don't have an address, don't put one. You're going to read each right and then put your initials, and then read that paragraph saying you understand your rights. Then you're going to sign, okay? That's for you, and that's for you. Did they give you one of these two?
I went into the entrance where they turn you around.
Oh, okay.
They check me for temperature, and then the door was sitting there. So I got to walk into the That's really,
That's all.
so, but it's a little long. Looking at mine. That's when I got lost.
To what question?
Yep, I'm ready for more. So, I'll be here in maybe 10 minutes, is that?
All right, I'm gonna have him sign this paper, but I'm gonna take this paper from you. And you can write whatever you wanna write, all right? Just sign that witness signature line.
Is this your first? Second?
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. You want to do this? You want to ask the question, write it down, and then I'll read it out loud and I'll answer the question? You want to do that? Yeah? Okay. You can keep the pen. She said, I want to know if my baby survived ASAP. That's one question. I want to know who is staying with her. That's the second question. Okay. And I'm going to answer both for you. Your baby did not survive. Okay? Your baby did not make it. Alright? Your baby is currently getting an autopsy done to find out what actually happened to her body. Okay? You want to ask more questions? No? I'll do this for you. You can ask me anything you want. Who did that to you? Did your husband do that to you? That's a question? You want to answer? Yeah? Okay. I want to speak to Benjamin, Ben Michael, and Renee Driver. Okay? We can't let you speak to Benjamin. Okay? Because you have that in there. We can't let you speak to your mom, and your mom said she's coming. Okay? Do you want to speak to her? She's coming here. Do you want to speak to her in person, face to face, or on the phone? In person, face to face? Okay, good. So I've already called your mom and she said she's gonna be here tomorrow morning, okay? She's on her way. You have another question? You cannot speak to Ben Young because I think he did this to you. Can you tell me what you're saying? I don't want anybody to hurt you anymore.
Her heart rate is getting elevated. Take some big deep breaths.
Okay, let me read it. Let me read it. Breathe. I want you to breathe. Breathe. Okay.
Look at me. Breathe. Slow. You're breathing. Look at me.
What's your name? Chloe.
Chloe. Chloe. Look at me. Breathe. Breathe. There you go. There you go. You're doing good. Just breathe. Just breathe. Okay. It was going wonky because her pulse ox is right here, so when she was writing, it
Oh,
was
I'm
just
sorry.
giving us. No, it's fine. That's why it was alarming. But then
Okay.
she just got worked up.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
You want me to read it? He didn't do it. I did. I was going insane and no longer wanted to be with his friends, but kept coming back for him. I only wanted my baby and husband, but he refused. Who are his friends? Who are they? Do you know their names? Help me. You don't want it? You don't want to? Okay. Okay? Okay. We're stopping. That's it. No more. I don't want to do this no more. Breathe. Breathe, please. Breathe, please. I don't want to call him and get you worked up. Okay? You're already worked up. I can see it. Listen to me. I'm coming tomorrow again. Can we call tomorrow? Okay? He can't come here because they won't let him. Because of COVID, nobody can come in this hospital. So when you switch roles, then people can visit you, okay? But nobody can come in here. Only law enforcement can come in here. Nobody else. They're not letting anybody into this hospital. It's a major COVID center, okay? Listen, tomorrow they may move you to a new room. You may be out of the ICU, okay? And then at that point, how about we call him now? Do you want to do that? Tomorrow? What time? What time do you wake up? Okay, that's okay. What about 9:30 a.m.? Good? You want me to set a date with you? 9:30 a.m. That's good? Good. I don't want to get you worked up anymore. Okay? No more working up. Okay? I want you to breathe, all right? And again, I'm Detective Cruz. I'm here for you, okay? Immediately, she did suffer. Immediately, she did not suffer before she left the house. Okay? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay? That is for your family to decide, okay? When you get better, your family wants to take her to Knoxville. I know. Okay? Benjamin wants her body too. He said so. Okay? You want Benjamin to have her body? He can't come here and talk. Tomorrow he can't come and talk. They won't let him come into this hospital, and I don't know if they're transferring you from here. I have to ask, okay? And I know, but we can call him tomorrow, okay? I'm gonna get his phone number and everything like that. He doesn't have your phone. It's at the house? You want me to go get it? Okay. He's not at the house. I want you to breathe, please. He's going up again. You're scared? Your stuff is at the house. Upstairs in the room? Okay. Your phone and the bag. Okay. The phone and the bag is upstairs in the room. I got that. Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell me before I come back tomorrow for you? You just want to call him? You want to talk to him? Okay. Okay. I will make that happen. Okay? All right? I will make it happen. Okay? I'm going to get his phone so that way we can call. I have your phone. I have my phone. I have your phone. Yes. Okay? But I can't bring it here because it's dead. We gotta charge it. It's dead? Yes. We tried to look to see about your mom's phone number and couldn't find it on your phone, so I had to look somewhere else. Take the pictures off? Is mine off? Yours is off. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna charge it for you tonight. Okay? And I will bring it tomorrow. Oh, I can't get it now. Canton is far from here, and your phone is in Canton. Canton is like 45 minutes from here. Okay, we're not near Canton, so I would have to drive all the way over there and then come all the way back here. Okay, that's why I'm going to do it tomorrow. We're going to schedule an appointment tomorrow. Okay, 9:30 a.m. Okay. Your mom, she's coming tomorrow, so hopefully we can get you in a new room so your mom can see you. I talked to your mom already. You want me to talk to them about moving you? Okay, I will. Okay. Is there anything else I'm missing? No? Tomorrow, 9:30. Okay?
Yeah, but I do, that's the only way I can get my husband to go to.
Detective Cruz, I want to follow up with you. about a couple of things about that interview. We put the annotations in the Miranda form on the video, but what we've already previously admitted as State's Exhibit 104. I'll put that up on the screen. All right. First, tell me, when you walked in and you started asking her questions about how many quarters in a dollar, what day of the week is it, do you know where you're at? We heard your portion, but was she able to accurately answer all of those questions?
She was. She whispered everything.
Okay. And why did you ask her those questions?
I wanted to know if she was of sound mind and judgment, and that's usually questions that we ask. I didn't know how many medications that they gave her, if she was lucid even to talk.
Okay. And did she seem to have any difficulty understanding you, knowing who you were, knowing why you were there?
Not at all.
Okay. And then you had previously indicated that you were not there to talk to her at all, that you were just going to sort of take swabs until she indicated she wanted to write. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. We saw that you did take those swabs. Were those sent off to the crime lab?
They were.
Okay. Your Honor, we do have a written stipulation, which I can read into the record at the appropriate time. Any objection? Okay, I'll just read it this time. Stipulation: swabs from the left and right hands of Chloe Alexis Driver were collected by Canton Police Department on December the 9th, 2020. The swabs were sent to the GBI Crime Lab, where chemical examination revealed the presence of blood. Further laboratory testing revealed the DNA of Hannah Driver was located on the swabs from both the left and right hands of Chloe Alexis Driver, dated November 14th, 2024, signed by myself, Katie Gropper, and attorney Angela Trethaway. Well, Jonathan Kessler for Angela Trethaway. All right, going back to, you asked some preliminary questions about, to assess sort of what mental state she was in, her ability to communicate coherently. When you handed her this Miranda form that we're seeing in State's Exhibit 104, tell me which portions she filled out herself.
Sure. She filled out her name, her age, her date of birth, her social security number, her address. She put her initials 1 through 5, and then she signed at the bottom.
Okay. And did she require any assistance doing any of that?
She did not.
Okay. All right. And then we saw the annotations on the screen. I'd like to publish State's Exhibit 103, which has been previously admitted. Is this the complete writing from when you spoke to her in that interview we just saw?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. At some point, you and her in that interview were still communicating, but she wasn't writing anymore. But you were obviously responding to things that you were hearing her say, but they were not audible. So I want to talk to you about some of that. At one point in that interview, you said, "I don't want to call him and get you worked up." What was that in response to?
She wanted to speak to Benjamin, and I told her her blood pressure was already going up. I don't want to call him and get her worked up, meaning her blood pressure would have been even sky through the roof, and I knew she was in a fragile state, so.
Okay. At one point, you said immediately before she left the house. What was that in response to?
If she had passed away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at one point you said that is for your family to decide, and you engaged in a discussion with her about what was going to happen to Hannah's body.
That's correct.
What did she say she wanted to happen to Hannah's body?
She said she wanted Ben Michael to have Hannah, not her parents.
Okay. And then toward the end of the interview, you made arrangements to return the following day. What was her request about why she wanted you to return with her phone the following day?
She wanted to call Benjamin and her parents.
Okay. All right. That same day, did you ever go back into the room and speak to her a second time?
I did. I believe I asked when they were going to move her.
Okay.
And they told me they weren't going to move her. So I had mentioned to her that they weren't going to move her just yet.
Okay. Was that recorded as well?
That was.
Your Honor, I'd like to publish State's Exhibit 101, which has been previously admitted.
All right.
them, they are not moving you tomorrow, okay? And they don't make any exceptions for mom or anybody to come in the room because of the ICU, okay? So I want to be very clear. Mom can't come in, but we can call her. You want to call mom? We can do that, okay? So 9:30 a.m., first call, you want to be to mom or you want it to be to Benjamin? You want to write it down? Because whatever you write, I can tell them. That's up to you. Will they move for 2 days from now?
I don't know. I don't know when they'll move it really. We don't have to make definitive, this is when it will happen.
Thank you, I really get it. The better you get, then they'll move you, okay? So your job is to stay healthy and to get better. So they can move you and then we can have visitors. You can't have your phone, okay? We took a search warrant for your phone too, okay? Because we thought that Benjamin was hurting you. And so we took your phone and his to make sure that's not happening, okay? We wanted to make sure that there's nothing on that cell phone that says he's been hurting you, he's been violent towards you, he cut you. So we wanted to make sure that he didn't. Okay. That's what we wanted to make sure of. All right? So once they're done with the phones, then we'll give them back. All right? All right. I will be back tomorrow at 9:30. And if you want to call people, we'll call and use my cell phone. Okay? We'll do that. That's fine. I didn't bring it with me today because I had a lot of camera equipment and I can't carry everything. All right? But tomorrow I'll carry it and I don't have the camera equipment, okay? But I am going to take a sample, a swab of your hand, and then the inner cheek, okay? And that's basically as a DNA sample to say that you are her mom, okay? Because at that point we didn't know who's the mom, all right? So we have to confirm that you and the young and our parents, all right? And that's the only reason why we're doing it. Okay, are you okay and comfortable with that? All right. I'm going to get my little swab. It tickles a little bit, but it doesn't hurt. Okay? All right, let me go get that now. Sorry.
I'm ready when you are. Okay, I'm coming. I can have part of it.
I'm not allowed to do that. Just say policy. I did. Yep. Yep.
I hadn't, because I just couldn't.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Oh, I'll let you do your thing. No, I'm good. Don't even worry. Thank you. Okay. Are these sealed? Yes? Okay, they are. Okay. I wanted to make sure I showed you that. Is this sealed? Yes? Okay, perfect. I'm going to open this one and we'll do the cheek first, okay? Let's see if I can actually open it. There we go. Usually I have my pen doing this for me, but... Do you want me to move so you can empty that out right now? You sure? Yeah. Okay. You know, I have broken that sealed? Good? Okay. That's the first one I'll start with. I'm going to swap your right cheek and then your left cheek, okay? And like I said, this is to prove that your mommy, okay? And then Daniela and Daddy. Can you say ah for me? Ah? Thank you. Okay. Left cheek. Thank you. This is my least favorite part. Getting the evidence to take just right. Okay? Yeah, I need to find that actually. Let me get this pen again. Chloe, you spell C-H-L-O-E. Is that how you spell it? You have a middle name, Alexis, A-L-E-X-I-S. Okay. And last name is Driver, D-R-I-V-E-R. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have you sign here, put your date of birth, whatever race that you go by, okay? And that's it. Can you do that for me? Date of birth, signature first, okay? I think I lost one. I'll leave one for each hand like that. Yeah, just in case. Yeah, you're right. Yeah? Okay. Perfect. I need you to witness. Front name, signature, date. you. Appreciate you. Do you go by Caucasian, African American, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, Caucasian? Yes? Okay. And your social security number? You want to write it down? Okay. Write it right here for me. Perfect, thank you. You want to write it down? Here. Let's write. Don't speak. Write. Said, how long will my prison sentence be for killing her? I can answer that. You know why? I'm not your judge and I'm not your jury, okay? I'm only a mere detective collecting evidence and investigating. So I'm not your judge or jury, okay? So I can't answer that. All right? You want to write again? Or you're good? All right. Oops, I'm sorry. Two more samples. Sealed? Yes? Okay. Let me get a little bit of water from here. That helps out. Okay? I want you to open your hand. Perfect. I'm going to take a little bit of all right, now take your other hand, okay? One more time, okay? Same thing, I'm going to do it. Have a bit of water. All right, let's try a different finger. Thank you. Let me know if I'm hurting you, okay? Alright. Try this one. Is that a cut? Let me know if I'm hurting you, okay? Alright. You want to ask me anything before I leave before tomorrow? No? Maybe? No? Okay. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Numbers that I need from Mom and Benjamin, so that way we can call them, okay? 9:30 in the morning? Are you gonna expect me? I'll be here tomorrow for you, okay? All right. Do you want me to leave this so you can communicate with other people? Yeah? I'll leave it for you, okay? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your patience.
May I approach?
Yes.
Handing you State's Exhibit 105. Do you know what this is?
Yes, this was the last sentence that she asked of me.
Does this truly and accurately reflect what Ms. Driver wrote on December the 9th of 2020?
Yes.
I would tender State's 105.
No objection.
It's admitted.
Permission to publish?
Go ahead.
And we heard you read this out loud, but is this the actual original writing of Ms. Driver?
That is the actual original writing of Ms. Driver.
Okay. At one point, I believe when you were swabbing her hands, you said in the interview, is that a cut?
Yes.
What were you observing?
On her right hand, she had 2 visible cuts that I could see, and so I asked her, is that a cut?
Okay. Your Honor, we do have another video. Are we going to take a morning break, or how do you want us to time?
How long is the next video?
It is 30. 38 minutes.
Okay. Sounds like this would be a good time to take a break. We're gonna let you be in recess until 1:15. You can go downstairs if you'd like to. Leave us your notepads. Don't talk about the case. We'll see you back in the jury room at 1:15.